Sorry. I've accidentally shut down the camera. Try to press the zoom button. I'm sorry about that. Okay, this is my E92 M3. Okay, I keep everything absolutely stock. The tire sizes are stock dimension. According to the manufacturing requirement, it's a 2008 model. Okay, and you know, I waxed it pretty thick. Everything in this car is OEM. I actually got rid of the non-stock exhaust because I really didn't like it. It was too loud for my age. This is the second one I had. I had a sedan version when I was younger, which had the IPE exhaust, and it was fantastic. But at 40 years old, I decided to go for something that's a lot more quieter. Okay, something that is stock. Okay, and that is I can drive around every day. The car is very cheap to keep. If you know how to cool down the engine, how to warm up the engine, what not to do to the engine, this car needed a good captain like me to look after it. So let's fire her up and you can hear the engine. Okay, so we are in the basement, so the engine will be nice and loud. So foot on the pedal, fire her up. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, you should press the ignition first before fire up, but it's BMW. I don't really do the ignition first and fire up. I just fire it up right away. Okay, because this car in 2008 was designed for a busy businessman. So let's just start it up. We don't need to go ignition then fire it up. That's too paranoid. Okay. Okay, as you can see, I got the Key battery logo. I got the service. I haven't had a chance to reset the service light because I haven't had the chance to drive this very much. Now, come out and listen to this noise. The initial start, even the stock exhaust will sound violent. This metallic noise is absolutely normal. It does not have any roll bearing strange noise. This is a perfectly healthy S65 engine noise during the cold start. So if you really like the car, you should wait until the first idle finish, which will be finished soon. The idle will lift itself up a little bit higher, then you'll go quiet. Once you go quiet, it's a good time to drive off. But if you're going to drive it off right away, it's absolutely fine also. You just got to follow my video. See this first whine? See, now it's quiet. See how the noise goes, ooh, and the noise drops down? This would be the ideal time to drive it off. Give it a little bit time for it to go and woo, wind it off and wind it down. Because before the first RPM lift, like you hear that noise, it goes woo and it comes down. Before that comes down, the engine is pumping, the car is pumping a lot of gasoline into the engine. It's what we call running super rich. It's just thrashing a lot of fuel in, because this sort of ECU setup, it's designed to force the engine to warm up quick. Okay? So now you can drive it off, or you can drive it right away, but just don't turn on the air conditioning. You gotta go very easy in the throttle, okay? Just go very easy on the throttle. Drive the way how those 90s model car should be. Just go easy on the throttle. Check out my other video. So this is what idle should sound like after the initial, how do I say it? The rev goes up and down. Listen to how healthy this is. Now you're gonna hear the sort of whining noise. My brothers, this is what an M3 engine is supposed to sound like. It doesn't have this dryness feeling. Some M3, when they're idle, it's got the winding, but it's got the extra dryness feeling. If it's got a dryness feeling, that means you're using shit oil. You're not using the right oil for the car. Germans are very, very precise in their engineering. The biggest problem with all the M3 owners is that they use all the wrong brand oil, they mix it all together, they make the car very, very complicated, okay? Now I have Lamborghini, Ferraris. If you follow with the stock, It's the cheapest way to own the car. And let me tell you a bad news about M3. Even if you change the exhaust, stock is 420 horsepower. By going up to 425, 430, let me tell you, you're not going to feel any difference, because 10 horsepower out of 420 is very little. But if you're going from a 200 horsepower to 250 horsepower, the difference is big. So don't waste time. Keep the car classic the way it is. Mine is a good example of a stock M3, and I shall never change it. Okay, it's got the carbon roof. I really only drive it about once per month now. I don't drive it very much because just the business is very busy. It's got the carbon roof. Okay, now the stock exhaust has got a nice idle noise. Oh, this car still pulls on the freeway, very fast on the freeway. It's absolutely violent engine, and I love the nice the hood thing. There is a small modification that I did with this, is that I never drive in the rain much, so I removed this rubber piece. Okay, the heat comes out better, and also there is a tray. There's a water collection tray here, which I have removed. It will bring down the oil temp by 2 degrees. This is the only thing I have modified. Everything is stock castor oil, stock transmission oil, stock everything. Screw modification, keep it stock, you never have issues. Alright, this is Tim from Taiwan. Have a good night. And the stock still goes very fast. Very fast. I've actually raced this against ECU model M3. It's got the exhaust, it's got the ECU, all that. It claims to be 50 horsepower or more. But let me tell you something, 420 and 470 in a city short distance thrash. Let me tell you something, he wasted his money. Okay, if you're going to modify the M3, maybe it's time to go the step next up. Get a Gerardo, Lamborghini Gerardo. Get something that's 600 or 700 horsepower. 420 horsepower with the exhaust modification. The extra 10 horsepower, you're not going to feel it. It's a noise thing, okay? But I like the stock exhaust because I like how the M engineer designed this engine back in the 2008. I love what the stock exhaust offer in terms of back pressure for low RPM. This is Tim from Taiwan. Have a great night, everyone.